So this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a minute, which is it's not better, but I like it more. And just hear me out for what for the travesty that I might actually say right now. There's a lot of times where people say, "Oh, I like this thing" or "I like that thing," but I don't like this other thing. And objectively speaking, the other thing might be better. It has better characters, better arguments, better animation, better music, better everything. But that person still likes the other thing better. And I think that's a point that is not often talked about in the anime community because if there's one thing that anime fans are very like passionate about is to let you know how wrong you are when it comes to the things that you like. You're like, no, Full Metal Alchemist is the best show ever. Just shut the fuck up, you know. But here in this channel, if you're new, we are kind of against that. We try to be very broad and welcome all opinions and all sizes of all penises out there. And here, I got asked a question that sparked the idea for this video and this long ass rant, which is, are you do do you, are you liking Windbreaker? And I said, yes. More than Tokyo Revengers? Yes. So Windbreaker is better than Tokyo Revengers. That's when I kind of like stopped myself because the question is Windbreaker better than Tokyo Revengers? And I had to stop myself for a minute because I wanted to say yes, but let's be honest. I think the answer is no. I think Windbreaker is not better than Tokyo Revengers, but I like Windbreaker better than Tokyo Revengers. But not because I like it better, it means that it's better. There are a lot of things that I can point out about Windbreaker that are absolutely, in my opinion, true, that are superior than Tokyo Revengers. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they're often compared, both of them. One is how to do a gang story wrong and how to how to never do a protagonist, and the other is like how to do the thing that they didn't do but right. And honestly, I would say they're kind of different. Like, yes, they are about like school gangs, but so far that's kind of about it. Obviously, the season for Windbreaker is not over yet as of a recording of this video, but it's coming close. It's coming close. But to this point, I get an idea of what it is about. For example, just by the way, I'm not going to dive a lot into spoilers, but there's going to be some mild spoilers that if you have not watched either one of this series, might not affect your experience. So I'm going to be careful with that. First off, let's start with Windbreaker. Windbreaker, to be honest with you, it's one of those series that I just like. Why? Because it's simple. You have a protagonist that is kind of just an outcast, and it's here to find its place in the world. And you can already see the kind of character progression that Sakura is going to get. You see different types of people with different abilities that are here to just complement his story, and they will have a story of their own, which is great. Which I absolutely think is great. The character design is great. The reason why our main protagonist is doing the things that he's doing is great, is solid, is believable. He he suffers from like super main character syndrome. So he's half of his hair is like white and the other half is black. So he one of his eyes is one color and the other one is a different color. Kind of you can see it here, how he's like half and half, like a panda. And that's cool. That's an interesting design. And he got made fun of for that. So the only thing that he knows how to respond to the world is with violence. So he gets to a place where that's going to be challenged, and you can see that that's kind of where the story is going. So right off the bat, right off the bat, the the protagonist is relatable. Now, if I were to say, well, you can have a protagonist that can travel back in time to a specific time, but every time he comes back to the present, every day that passes, the amount of time that he's going to go back is specific. He cannot go back to the same point, but he's going to go back exactly that time prior. This character has seen the suffering and death of his beloved people just fall to the hands of gang violence. That is a more significant plot. That is a way better premise than a guy, a panda looking guy that suffered bullying. So now he's on his way to redemption, because he's going to learn that fighting has different meanings for different people. Like, that is a very like centric, right? But the other one has a better scope. It's more intriguing. Like, oh, so he doesn't choose when he's going back. It's just a specific time, and if he misses that time, that's it. Like, technically, time is still moving on both ends. So that's interesting. How is he gonna save it? And then when he comes back to the future, he sees the consequences, but they were not enough, and there are things that are changed, and it's just like it opens up way better discussion, way better premise. So the premise is significantly better on Tokyo Revengers, because that's the premise. But what's the problem with Tokyo Revengers? Let me tell you what the problem with Tokyo Revengers is. The problem with Tokyo Revengers is this fucking idiot. Takebichi. What a bitch he is. This character is one that you can see 100% where the character progression is going to go. You see, oh, this guy is a little coward, whiny, but he kind of has a heart of gold. He wants to do things the right way, you know. He wants to he wants to become stronger to protect the ones he loves, because he was weak in the past, so he's going to correct that, right? Well, so far, 2 seasons in, I'm still waiting for that to happen. He doesn't become stronger. He doesn't become smarter. He's just there to bitch and moan and complain. And sometimes he has the occasional speech that might inspire others to do things that he should have done in the first place. And it's just a drag. So I can say the premise of Tokyo Revengers is better than Windbreaker, but I like Windbreaker better. Now, you have your side characters. And I think that Tokyo Revengers has better side characters like Mikey and Draken. Those I think are like fantastic side characters that complement the story. Like they were the only reason why I kept on watching freaking Tokyo Revengers, to be honest with you. But in Windbreaker, it's a little bit different. In Windbreaker, so far, as of the recording of this video, you have these other characters like the Zenitsu looking guy, and like this guy that has to take like stomach medicine. I have not learned any of their names aside from the main character. And then the Erwin looking guy. So these side characters, they're good. I like them. But they're clearly a complement to the main character. They're part of his journey. In Tokyo Revengers, the side characters have their own journey, and that's why they are, in my opinion, better, because they continue on their own path, and then Takebichi is just kind of a consequence or a conduit of their life. But they're not part of his. He's part of them. Like, he's such a bitch that in his own show where he gets to be the protagonist, he's a side character. I hate Takemichi. I swear to God, I hate him. Now, the one thing that I will say that 100% I will give Windbreaker like the absolute hands down better is the animation. The fights in Windbreaker are absolutely brutal. They are way more like realistic than a lot of anime fights that I've seen in recent time. And I'm not saying that they're like, oh, hyper realistic or anything. No, but like the way they move, the punches, some of the grabs and some of the like the tosses and stuff like that, they're based in reality, and they are significantly cleaner than others. Like the punches are good and clean, and you can see that it's based on how it can be done, like a Batman type of fighting style in a way. Yeah, you have your occasional like jump 20 feet in the air to land with like a flying kick to the face and stuff like that. But it's anime. Like reality is gonna be overly exaggerated from time to time. But the animation of the fights are really, really clean. I enjoy this series a lot. Now, here comes to answer the question. Do I like Windbreaker better than I like Tokyo Revengers? And the answer is yes. Am I saying that one is better than the other? For me, better, it's kind of a weird thing to say because it's different. So I'm not going to be able to say, "Oh, this is better." It's like saying vanilla is better than chocolate. I can say this vanilla is better than this vanilla and this chocolate is better than this chocolate. But Tokyo Revengers is different than Windbreaker. But I definitely like Windbreaker more, even though the premise is not as good as Tokyo Revengers. The side characters are not as good as Tokyo Revengers. The the intrigue is not as good as Tokyo Revengers. The music is not as good as Tokyo Revengers. But I like it better. So there are other shows that we can point out to that you can say like, oh no, this show is better, this show is better. How about we stop saying that this show is better than this one and say that we like it better instead? I think that would solve a lot of conflict nowadays because everyone's so focused on being divided for some reason. So, except for Attack on Titan, because that is the superior anime to any other anime. Period. That's it. Attack on Titan is better than anything else. Bye.